Most yachts built today are already outdated by the time they hit the water. But AEVUM is different. This is a 136-meter concept designed around one simple idea, that by 2050, the people who own these vessels won't just want size. They'll want a yacht that thinks. And when you see what that actually looks like in practice, the atrium, the owner's level, the way technology is built into this thing, you'll understand why most of what's being built right now will feel primitive in comparison. We're going through the entire yacht today. The exterior, every interior space, the technology, and the design decisions that make this one of the most considered concepts I've come across. Just to be clear before we get into this, AEVUM is a concept, a fictional design. It doesn't exist, no shipyard is building it, and no one owns it. This is just the idea, but the latest technology trends are going to make it worth studying. First, let's talk about the exterior. The first thing you notice about AEVUM from a distance is that it doesn't look like it's trying to impress you by its design. And that's intentional. The hull is long, low, and almost flat across the waterline. 136 meters. But it doesn't carry that length the way most large yachts do, with a raised bow and a profile that announces itself. AEVUM sits closer to the water, controlled, almost restrained for something this size. The hull material is a carbon composite layering system, lighter than steel, stronger under stress, and it allows the designers to hold those sharp, clean lines across the entire length without the hull panels warping or losing geometry over time. That's actually harder to achieve than it sounds at this scale. The silhouette from the side reads almost like a building. Straight horizontal lines, flush surfaces, no unnecessary curves. Every deck edge is defined. You can see the architectural thinking immediately. This was designed by someone who understands structure, not just style. The deck layout from the outside shows 5 levels, each one slightly set back from the one below it, which does 2 things. It keeps the profile clean, and it means every deck above the main level gets open sky above it. No deck is boxed in. The exterior lighting runs along the hull in continuous horizontal strips. Not decorative. They mark the deck lines at night, making the geometry of the yacht readable even in darkness. It's functional, but the effect is striking. Step inside AEVUM, and the first thing that stops you is the atrium. It runs through the center of the yacht, vertically connecting 3 decks. And the reason it works is because of what's not there. No grand staircase, try to be a statement piece. No chandelier competing for your attention. Just a clean, open vertical space with a skylight at the top that pulls natural light straight down through all 3 levels. The main saloon sits on the primary living deck, just off the atrium, and the first thing worth noting is how it's laid out. It's one continuous space, but it doesn't feel like one room. There's a seating area toward the bow side, a more open transitional space in the middle, and a quieter lounge section toward the stern. No walls dividing them. Just a change in furniture arrangement and ceiling height that tells you, this part is for conversation, this part is for passing through, this part is for sitting quietly. The furniture is low profile. Seating sits close to the floor, which keeps the sight lines open across the entire space. Everything is upholstered in a single neutral fabric. The dining hall on AEVUM seats 16 people comfortably. Not a record number for a yacht this size. And that's a conscious decision. The space isn't built around capacity. It's built around the experience of actually sitting in it. The table is a single slab of dark marble. No joins, no paneling. Just one continuous surface running the length of the room. The chairs around it are low-backed, upholstered in the same neutral fabric as the saloon. Consistent, deliberate. Lighting here is worth paying attention to. A series of slim, recessed fixtures run directly above the table length. AEVUM carries 6 guest suites. All of them sit on the same deck, but no 2 of them are identical. And that's one of the more interesting design choices on this yacht. Most yachts at this size repeat the same suite layout 6 or 8 times. It keeps the build efficient. AEVUM took a different approach. Each suite has a slightly different footprint, a different orientation, and a different material palette. Same design language, different character. Let's go through what that actually looks like. 4 of the 6 suites are structured around a central sleeping area with a bathroom running along one full sidewall. The bed faces the outboard glass directly. No furniture between you and the water. Storage is built entirely into the walls. Flush cabinetry. No handles, just push-to-open panels that disappear into the surface when closed. The remaining 2 suites are larger. These sit at the stern of the guest deck and have a small private sitting area separate from the sleeping space. Not a full lounge, just enough room for 2 chairs and a side table. The kind of space where you'd sit in the morning before the rest of the yacht wakes up. The bathrooms across all 6 suites follow the same layout. A freestanding basin, a walk-in shower with a single fixed rain head, and where the suite size allows, a soaking tub set against the outboard wall. The material is consistent throughout. Honed stone, brushed metal fixtures, and the same timber flooring that runs through the rest of the yacht. What keeps all 6 suites feeling like they belong to the same yacht is that consistency of material. The finishes don't change. The design language doesn't shift. But the layout and scale of each space gives every guest a slightly different experience of being on AEVUM. The owner's deck on AEVUM is essentially a private floor. It sits above the guest level, accessible only by a dedicated staircase from the atrium. And once you're up there, the rest of the yacht feels like it's somewhere else entirely. Let's start with the outdoor space. The owner's private deck wraps around the entire stern of this level. It's not a sun deck. There's no row of loungers lined up facing the same direction. Instead, it's arranged like an outdoor room. A low seating cluster on one side, a dining table for 4 on the other, and a long stretch of open deck between them. The railing is frameless glass, flush with the deck edge, so nothing interrupts the water view from any point on this level. Now the bedroom. The ceiling in the owner's bedroom is partially vaulted. Not dramatically, just enough to give the space more volume than the guest suites below. One wall is floor-to-ceiling stone, running the full width of the room. Not glass, stone. Honed, the same as the atrium. The bed sits centered against it, which anchors the whole room. The opposite side has a single large window, positioned deliberately, wide enough to frame the horizon, but not so large that it turns the room into a glass box. There's actual wall on either side of it. The room feels enclosed and considered rather than exposed. Lighting in the bedroom is entirely indirect. It comes from recessed channels running along the base of the vaulted ceiling. You never see the source, just the effect, a low, even wash across the stone wall and the ceiling above. The bathroom sits directly off the bedroom through a wide doorway with no door, just an opening. The layout is generous. A double basin counter in dark stone runs along one wall. Behind it, a full-height mirror with lighting built into the frame. The shower is oversized, open plan, with both a rain head above and a side jet system built into the wall. The private office is next door to the bedroom suite, and it's worth spending a moment on because it's designed differently from what you'd expect. It's not large. It doesn't need to be. A single desk runs along the outboard wall, positioned so that when you're seated, you're looking directly at the water. The desk surface is clean. No cable channels visible, no equipment on show. Everything is managed through a built-in system under the surface. One chair, one desk, one view. That's the entire design brief for this room, and it works because of that simplicity. The owner's private gym closes out this deck. It runs along the bow side of the owner's level, with the longest uninterrupted glass wall on the entire yacht facing forward. The equipment layout is minimal. A functional training area, a stretch zone, and a recovery corner with a cold plunge unit built into the floor. No mirrors covering every wall. Just the water ahead of you and enough space to move properly. AEVUM has 2 pools, and the way they're placed tells you a lot about how this yacht thinks about outdoor space. The main pool sits on the upper deck toward the bow. It's a lap pool, narrow, long, and flush with the deck surface. No raised edges, no tiled surround stepping up from the deck. The water sits level with the floor around it, which makes the whole deck feel like one continuous surface rather than a pool with a deck around it. That's harder to engineer than it looks, but the visual effect is clean. Around the main pool, the deck is finished in the same brushed stone used through the interior. There's a seating area to one side. Not a row of sun loungers, but a proper outdoor lounge. Low furniture, a shade structure overhead that retracts fully when you want open sky. The kind of setup where you'd actually spend an evening, not just an afternoon. The second pool is smaller and sits on the main deck level at the stern, partially covered by the deck above it. It's a plunge pool, deep, compact, and connected directly to the main saloon through a full-width sliding glass wall. When that wall is open, the indoor and outdoor spaces become one. The saloon floor and the pool deck are at the same level, same stone surface, no threshold between them. It's one of the more considered transitions on a yacht. The gallery spaces on AEVUM run along the interior corridors between the main living areas. And the way art is handled here is straightforward, single pieces, wide spacing, nothing grouped or clustered. Each work gets its own wall and its own light source recessed directly above it. The corridor doesn't feel like a gallery trying to impress. It feels like someone who owns interesting things and knows how to live with them. AEVUM is a 2050 concept, and the technology on this yacht reflects that, but not in the way most concept designs show it. There are no touchscreens on every wall, no LED displays built into surfaces. The technology here is almost invisible, and that's the point. Start with propulsion. AEVUM runs on a hybrid hydrogen-electric system. 2 hydrogen fuel cells handle the primary power load, with a battery reserve for low-speed maneuvering and harbor operation. The result is a yacht this size running near silently at cruising speed with close to zero direct emissions. That's not a marketing claim. By 2050, the hydrogen infrastructure to support vessels like this will exist in most major ports worldwide. The onboard AI system manages climate, lighting, and energy distribution across the entire yacht simultaneously. It reads occupancy in each space and adjusts accordingly. A guest suite that's been empty for 6 hours isn't being cooled to the same level as the main saloon with 8 people in it. The system learns patterns over the course of a voyage and gets more accurate as it goes. You set a preference once. After that, it handles itself. Navigation runs through a fully integrated sensor array: radar, sonar, satellite, and real-time weather data processed together. The bridge on AEVUM is minimal because of it. 2 seats, a clean console, and a system that handles the complexity so the crew is managing decisions rather than data. The smart glass used throughout the yacht, in the saloon, the suites, the owner's level, ties back into the same central system. Privacy, shading, and transparency are all managed automatically or manually through the same interface. AEVUM isn't a yacht you can buy or commission. It's a concept, a way of asking what intelligent luxury actually looks like when you think it through properly. But the ideas behind it are real and worth taking with you. The way space is divided without walls. The way technology disappears into the structure rather than sitting on top of it. The way materials do the visual work instead of decoration. These are design principles that apply well beyond a 136-meter yacht. If this is the kind of content you're interested in, detailed breakdowns of concept yachts, future designs, and the thinking behind them, then Luminara Rides is exactly where you need to be. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. There's a lot more coming, each one more detailed and more considered than the last. Click here to watch another concept of yacht design. I'll see you in the next one.